Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, a couple hard blocks and a soft block will be handy. You could also use a soft block and a bolster instead of the hard blocks. And when you're ready, we'll get started in a seated butterfly position. So I like to elevate the hips a little bit, make the shape a little more comfortable. So perhaps sitting up off of one of your props and take a moment just to get comfortable. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together and have the knees nice and open. I'm going to take a little bit more of a diamond shape with the lower body, so having the feet a little further away from the hips, but you're also welcome to have them close. Feet close might just stretch the legs a little bit differently, a little more on the adductors, and feet far away, maybe a little bit more into the hamstrings as well. I'm going to use hard blocks just underneath the knees so that the legs have something to rest into. And then just check in here for a moment, take a moment to find that tall spine. Really feel the hips, the sit bones ground down into the floor. And then you can gently start to round your way forward. You can bring the hands along for support. And taking it nice and slow. If you do start to feel pinching or anything like that, maybe come upright. You can try again or you can modify. If it feels okay to let the head hang nice and heavy, then go for it. Maybe the neck needs a little more support here, in which case you can keep the head upright, or maybe you use your props a little differently. Listen to your body as you come into the shape, and if you feel like you've gone too far, if you find that the breath started getting a little choppy or something like that, you can always gently back your way out. And once you do find a version of the shape that feels sustainable, and see if you can find stillness, doing your best to avoid fidgeting here. See if maybe you'd benefit from a little more time in this shape, and you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, supported by the hands, slowly start to lift yourself back up. It might feel nice to lean back on the fingertips, maybe give the spine a little counter stretch, lift the center of the spine up and open, maybe lift the gaze. Awesome. You can move your heart blocks if you're using them underneath the knees, and then take the feet a little bit wider, give the knees a windshield wiper side to side. Awesome. And then we'll take the legs nice and wide and setting up for a wide-legged fold shape. Find a distance between the feet that feels appropriate, and we're going to fold over one leg, then the other, and then come to the middle. So if it feels better to have one knee bent in, You could bend the right knee and fold to the left, then switch to the second side, and then maybe have both legs open when you fold in the middle. Listen to your body, so if you need to modify, you're always welcome to. And straight away, if it feels really effortful to hold yourself upright, you can always add more height under the hips. And if you find that you add more height and then sometimes there's pressure in the knees, so you might want to roll up a blanket, something there. And once you feel set up, take a moment to check in here. And then if it's okay with the spine to twist and fold, then you can start to twist the chest to the direction of the right leg or left leg. And then if it feels okay to start to fold here, you can start to walk the hands along the leg. You can also take the right hand to the outside of the left leg, but just listen to your body as you come in and see if you can resist the urge to pull yourself deeper than you're ready to go. Notice the kind of sensation you feel, whether it's through the low back, through the hip, through the left leg. Avoiding anything that feels sharp or stinging. Gently, with the support of the hands, start to lift yourself back up, returning the chest back to center. Check in here. We can set up straight for the second side, but if your spine feels like it needs a little movement first, then choose that. As you're ready, returning to your upright seat, and then turning the chest towards the right leg. If you wanted to bend the left knee, you can do that. And then going nice and slow, listening to your body starting to roll round and fold over that right leg. This side may feel a little different, so take it easy. Find your pain-free expression. Supported by the hands, slowly unravel the spine once again. And see what feels like a nice release, maybe some gentle counter twists. Maybe you want to take that same stretch for the spine, lifting the heart space up a little bit. And when you're ready, we'll set up to fold. So you're welcome to come back for a second round of butterfly if that's what sounds the most relaxing or the most comfortable for your body. If you're coming with me to the fold, if you need to adjust your seat, then go for it. It might be helpful to have your hard blocks nearby, especially if the floor feels a little far away. And you can start to make your way forward as you're ready, gently folding and rounding. Taking a moment to check in with the body. Notice if there's anything you can adjust to accommodate what you're feeling. And finding your stillness as you're ready. Gently start to walk yourself back up. Using the support of the hands, lifting the spine up. Maybe lifting the chest a little bit, maybe wiggling the spine. When you feel ready, you can use the support of the hands to help the legs bend once again, stepping the feet to the floor, maybe coming up off of your soft block as well, giving the knees a windshield wiper. It might feel nice to pause at either end, maybe taking a couple breaths, or you can keep going side to side. Awesome. And when you feel ready, you can swing the legs around and we'll come and find child's pose. And take a check in here, see if it feels better to keep the knees more together, or to have the knees more open, and then choose your shape. If you like to have the soft block nearby for the forehead or anything else, then go for it. Maybe something between hips and heels. Choose any arm expression you like, so make it as comfortable as you can. And then come and find your stillness as you feel ready. Choose stillness for as long as it serves you. And when you feel ready, you can gently lift up onto hands and knees. We'll pull the body through to come to lying down on the belly, and we'll set up for Sphinx pose here. If you need to add a blanket underneath the pelvis, or if you want to bring props underneath the elbows, you're welcome to do that. If it feels too intense for the low back, you can take the elbows further forward to lessen the back bend. Sometimes hands together feels more comfortable for the shoulders, so you can choose that, or you can keep the forearms parallel. See if you can make the shape feel relatively passive here. So notice if the glutes are holding things in place, maybe you can soften. Maybe the ankles can just kind of flop a little bit. Find somewhere comfortable for the neck. So if having the head upright doesn't work for you, you're welcome to take it down as well. Make sure that there's no strain. If it feels okay to close down the eyes. If in the stillness of the shape you notice the mind starting to wander, you might bring your attention to the gentle flow of your breath. You might notice what the shape feels like in the low back, the pelvis, anywhere else. Maybe you'd like a little more time here. When you feel ready, you can gently slide the elbows apart, slowly lowering the spine down. Maybe resting the forehead on stacked palms, or you can turn the head to the side and give the hips a gentle rock side to side. And then when you feel ready, any way you like to get there, flip yourself onto the back. And then from the back, we'll set up for some twists. So if you like to have your heart blocks nearby, you can take them down into the right. We'll bend the knees and then scoot the hips a little bit towards the left. And then you can either do a two-knee twist, or I'm going to take a one-knee twist. So I'm going to extend the right leg long and then guide the left knee across the body and onto the props. If you're doing a two-knee twist, then you might take a prop in between the knees, or if you need to take one underneath the shoulder. If it's floating, that's not a bad thing, but if it likes to feel more grounded, then go for it. Right hand can stay with the left knee the whole time. If you like to take the arms to a T shape, go for it. You can extend the left one to the floor overhead if you want more side body stretch. You can also turn the gaze down to the left if you want a little more stretch into the neck. And take your time and you can play around, find the perfect shape for today. And then when you're ready, you can find your stillness. If the head is turned to the side, you can gently bring it to center and then start to unravel the lower body. Returning to hips to midline. If you need just a little windshield wiper or something before you set for the second side, then go for it. You can take your blocks to the other side if they were handy. And then scoot the hips to the right, perhaps extending the left leg long, and then start to guide the right knee across the body and down to the left. You might take the exact same expression with the right arm, or maybe this side needs something a little different. Maybe taking the gaze down to the right as well. And then settling into your shape. Gently release the head to center. Release the right leg, release the hips. When you scoot the hips back to center, it might feel nice to windshield wiper the knees side to side a couple of times. You can always pause at the ends, or you can keep going. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you can bring the knees back to center. Look around for your soft block, and it might be handy to have it around. You might lift the hips just enough that you can slide the soft block and just take it right at the end of the spine. We're going to set up for happy baby, but because we're going to hold it, it might feel nice to just have something to support basically the bum. So see how it goes when you lift your knees. You can adjust where the prop is. It's just to make the shape feel more effortless. And if you don't need it, you can skip the prop altogether. Reaching between the knees to catch hold of the feet, the ankles, or the shins. You can start to point the feet up towards the ceiling any amount. Notice what this feels like for the low back, and if it puts too much pressure, you can always point the feet away from you, or you can continue to hold the knees instead. Without necessarily pulling the feet, let the arms feel really heavy. Maybe they'll add to the stretch that you're feeling through the hips. If you need a little rock side to side, or maybe to play with extending one leg and then rebending to extend the other, anything like that, go for it. And when you're ready, come and find your stillness. Gently start to release the feet. Let them lower down to the floor. You can remove the soft block as you're ready, and then see if your body's asking for any last movement, maybe a gentle twist, windshield wiper, knees together, anything like that, then go for it. When you're ready, we'll set up for Shavasana, so you can extend the legs long down the mat. If it's helpful to take a prop underneath each thigh, then go for it. And take a moment to get really comfortable. You can adjust the lighting and temperature, music, anything like that. And find the most comfortable shape that you can. So if for any reason lying on your back isn't working right now, maybe a seated meditation or child's pose. Take your time settling yourself in. And then let the body start to feel heavy. as you find your stillness. Gently deepen the breath. Bring a little movement to the body, starting small, and then getting a little bigger. Eventually, you might circle the wrists and the ankles. You might extend the arms up overhead and give yourself a full body stretch. You might curl the knees into the chest and wrap the arms around the shins. Bring the forehead to the knees, curl to a ball, maybe rock up and down the spine a couple times. And then think about how you'd like to transition. You can either rock and roll your way up, or you can roll down to one side, maybe pause and then come up that way. Finding any comfortable seat as you feel ready. Settling the hips, gently lengthening the spine, softening the shoulders. Taking a scan through the body just to notice. And then perhaps connecting the hands in front of the heart, bowing the chin towards the chest. taking a moment to thank yourself for your practice. And thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice. And my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the holidays.